This is not Faller car system. Hello, I'm Paul and you are welcome to another small scene. Today I want to make a video I wanted to make a long time ago but didn't have the chance, and I'm doing it today. About the car system, the shot you saw in the beginning. It is not Faller car system. Why? Because it's my own car system. It doesn't use no more Faller pieces, any Faller materials or any Faller tools. I didn't use any of Faller stuff, so it's a fully scratch build budget version of the Faller car system made by me. However, I used some Faller knowledge and some Faller principles. I will get to that later. So two things before anything else, two things about this. While doing it, I realized that the Faller car system is something amazing, something great, and very delicate system, and obviously it took a lot of work and a lot of investigation for the guys at Faller to be able to build that. So got great respect for the Faller car system and the people who were able to create it. So this is kind of my tribute. It's a budget version. It's my tribute to them. Another thing, to be able to do what you saw, this very primitive thing, it took me a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of trial and error to get it working. So yeah, it's very complicated. Anyway, this is an hobby and the idea was to try to replicate it. It was something that got me so fascinated, the Faller car system, that I wanted to do it by myself. Obviously it's a lot cheaper, but it took me a lot of time, but it's working, it works. Now, as for the Faller knowledge, Faller principles that I used, one of them was exactly the curve radius, very important. So some aspects of the Faller car system, one of them is the incline of the slopes, not too steep, no, otherwise the cars won't have the strength for that, and the track design, especially the curves. The curve radius, it's very important because on a straight line the car moves easily. On curves, if they're too tight, you can lose the direction, the traction of the magnet on the wire, and it can go out of route. So very important. It's a very important aspect. One of the things that I have to learn is that the curves must be very smooth and very consistent. They say on the Faller site, they have that information. They advise 15 centimeters curve radius for big trucks or trailers, and 13 centimeters for smaller cars. That's what I'm using here on my layout, because I have small cars, the layout is small, so I don't have any trailers. And that's one of the things that I try to apply. The other, of course, is the slopes, so I try to keep it all on flat, especially the truck that I show on the video. It's somewhere around here. This truck, this is a cheap miniature that I got, and then I turned it on. I will make another video on this, but this motor I have here, it's not the ideal for this car. It's a motor for smaller cars, so this guy isn't able to climb up hills, so he has to move on the flat surfaces, and so the track design for this was important to keep it flat. So one of the things that I've done to build this was one of the things that I've used, the track design. instead of trying to fit the track, the road design to the layout, it would be much harder to do it. I cleaned up the layout. Basically, I took it off, things on the scenery, the place where I wanted to build a track, and I started with a blank page, basically. So an empty space where I could design the track for the cars and then um, put the scenery afterwards, so that I can have some ease to build the tracks. That's what I'm doing here in the center of the layout, and also on the back. On the back, I have a part where I'm planning to build a car system also. So, but then first I draw the track, and then I'll put the scenery according to that. Another trick that I used here, I'm creating my tracks on 5mm plywood. So instead of working directly on the layout, especially because my layout has a layer of foam, as you can see here. I have the wood, and then I have 3cm foam. Everything is on top of the foam. So putting over there would be a bit complicated. So instead of the big pieces of plywood would not be necessary, I'm using 5mm plywood, and I'm working on that. That allows me to use hand tools to make the groove for the wire. That's another story. I'll try to get there. Probably I'll make another video. But that allowed me to make the grooves with a hand tool. I didn't use the Fowler machine to build the grooves. It's an expensive machine. I wouldn't get it, so instead I tried to make it also with my own tools, my own technique. It's a very simple thing. It gives us some work. It's not the same system, but I got there. So for the car, I build the steering, and I put the motor. I've built the electrical part very easy, very simple, very basic, and I build the steering with some metal parts. I'll make a video on that. And then for the track, for the wire, I use the regular wire. I'll make also a video on that. To put the wire and to make the groove for the wire, I used hand tools, simple hand tools. Now, to design the track, that's another story, and to make sure the curves will be very consistent and very precise, 13cm radius, not the average radius of the curve, but instant radius in each point of the curve. We must have that, so a very perfect curve in order for the cars to run perfectly. And the thing is, my truck runs here with that principle. For that, I used this tool, as you can see. Now try to make it like this. It has 30cm, and this is the radius. So by using this, we can draw a perfect circle, perfect line, perfect curve, so that we have the wire running perfectly. This allows me to make curves not only at 90-degree angles, but 10 degree, 15 degree, 20 degrees, the angle you want. And why I'm saying this? Because I think personally that make a layout, car track with all the curves on 90 degrees, it would be boring. On the other hand, making different radius, it would give me some more work. So here I know it's the minimum radius I can use, and I have a consistent curve. So I use this, sometimes 90 degrees, other times just 20 degrees, 30, anything. It doesn't matter, because the curve is there, the curve radius, and the consistence of the curve is also there. So this allowed me to make a track that is not just a square with a 90-degree angle curves, has smoother curves, and it works. And one of the things that I've done was exactly sometimes some pieces I have 90-degree angles. Others, what I've done, I made part of a curve, then a straight line, then a bit of a curve. So instead of just one curve, 90 degrees, I disassemble the curve into several parts so that I have a smoother curve, but all the curves have the same radius. So it makes the things a lot slightly easier to build. These were my tricks basically. Um, to make the curves, I will post a video. I'll show you how I make the drawing so that the curve it gets correct. So it's very easy basically. What I know I have this radius. I draw a line on the part of one part of the track, doesn't matter. You know you have to have a distance for the edge for the cars to the scenery, something. So make a line for the edge of the road, and then a straight line where it wants, and then the other straight line doesn't matter the angle. I'll show that. I will make then a video about it. And then what I've done was a very simple thing. I've drawn from one of those lines, when I want to intersect two straight lines, I draw a parallel line to one of them with a 13 centimeters, and on that parallel line I match the center of my curve, and then the line of the curve I match with the second straight line. When I come, I have the 13 centimeters, I know I'm going to match the first straight line that I have, so I can connect the two lines together. It doesn't matter the angle, it's a 90-degree angle. I have a line here, a line here. I put 13 centimeters here, and I match here on the line and here on the line where I want to make the groove. I have the line here. When I come, it matches the 13 centimeters. It doesn't matter if it's a 90-degree angle or if I have a line about 20 degrees. I do the same. I have 13 centimeters on a parallel line. I'll go match the other line, and when I come, I touch here. It's a very simple trick that I came up with. I will show you that afterwards, but allowed me to build the tracks not only with 90-degree angle curves and always with a consistent curve radius, and allowed me to build a circuit in which my truck runs. So basically that's it. I will make a video on the truck itself, how I build it using metal parts, and I will try to show you on other videos I have how I'll build how I made the track, and then how I made the groove so that the wire gets into the track. Basically that's it.